Ladies and gentlemen, you're tuning in to Blue Please right here on CynicalBrick.com with myself, Total Biscuit, the illusion of choice. Yes. Okay, folks. I have some. I'm going to have a look through and see what's worth a while. Nope, that's rubbish. Just having a look through these emails. Had a few come in during the break. Thought, maybe these are reasonable. That's an advice thing. I don't do advice. Not anymore. Nope, that's rubbish. Rubbish. Good lord. These are all actually terrible. Every one of these is awful. Every last one of them. That's so sad. Every guy that's emailed in today, I was thinking, oh, maybe there'll be another good one. No. They're all awful. Every one of them is terrible. They're either asking for advice or they're things that I certainly can't talk about. So there you go. I am turning to the chat room. Because the rest of you are useless. Absolutely terrible. Okay, so... to the chat room. No, I'm not talking about the Warhammer 40,000 MMO, because there's no information about it. And no, it's not mailbox at cynicalbrit.com. If you've been emailing into that, you're an idiot. It's themurloc@gmail.com. Look, a bunch of people emailed in there. I wonder if there's anything decent to hear. Let's see. No, no. It's all about console gaming. No, 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 no. So, you can PM me. I will pick one. Yes, I know the spam's going to be horrible. You can PM me on IRC and I will pick one from there. Because nobody that emailed in had a reasonable thing. Speak slower, FFS. Learn to listen faster. It's not my fault that you listen too slowly. I do not speak too quickly. Let's see what we've got. We're not talking about esports. It's a freaking WoW show, for God's sake. We don't care about StarCraft 2 on this show. Nobody does. Let's see. Rant about the lion some more. No, I've already ranted about the lion. That's not a question. That's not spam. There's nothing to say about DreamHack other than I will be there. Will the Star Wars MMO kill WoW? No. The only thing that will kill WoW is WoW. Hellgate reboot. Oh my god. And the Mythos reboot. Colour me not so enthusiastic about Hellgate, which was already a fairly grindy game to begin with. It had a pretty good setting going for it, but it was pretty damn grindy, and it wasn't an amazing game by any stretch of the imagination. Being picked up by a Korean company and being relaunched as a free-to-play. Why would this enthuse me? Somebody please try and explain this. That is a terrible idea. It's like, oh my god, Hellgate's coming back. Like, oh, yeah, but look who's developing it. Oh my god, no, no. Absolutely not. What else do we have? Portable gaming and tablets. Don't care. A threat to PCs. It's not a threat to PCs, because they're not powerful enough, and you don't have a mouse and keyboard on them. As simple as that. It's no more of a threat to PCs than the iPad is. Does the iPad have a keyboard and mouse? No? Then I'm not going to use it. What else do we have? League of Legends has absolutely nothing to do with World of Warcraft. Talk about Diablo 3. No, because there's nothing to talk about. Diablo 3 is coming out. It's probably coming out this year. A lot of it will be shown at the one and only BlizzCon. I would predict that the release date will be announced at BlizzCon. I would predict the release date will be sometime late November. Maybe early December. But I would put money on Diablo 3 being out this year. Aside from that, I will play Diablo 3, I will cover Diablo 3, and I have nothing else to say on the matter. What else do we have? Yes, this is a rapid-fire illusion of choice right here. I'm giving the illusion that I'm actually going to spend more than 30 seconds on these questions. That's a lot of spam right there. Bloodline Champions, don't care, nothing to do with WoW. Am I going to play WoW again? If it's not terrible, why don't I play Lotro? Because it's too much like World of Warcraft, and I don't want a WoW clone right now. We talk about freemium games versus subscription-based cash shop. That's actually there we go, that's a good question, I like that. Freemium is a good word. No doubt I'll get annoyed with it eventually, but still. Freemium is an interesting business model, isn't it? Because it's what DDO has, and other games are going that way as well. So, freemium, if I understand it correctly, He's telling me that that's cash shop versus monthly subscriptions. I mean, to me, the idea of freemium is if you have the choice of either playing the game with microtransactions or by paying with a monthly subscription, but that both methods are equally viable. So, to me, that's actually a way of choosing how you want to consume the content. For instance, if I was an extremely casual player of DDO and I only played for a very short period of time every month, then to me, a subscription would not be worthwhile. So, I would want to play for free, which I can do. However, here's the thing about the DDO model is kind of weird, and actually it's also kind of cool in the process, because you can play that game entirely for free, but it's going to take you a lot of time to do it. You're going to have to grind. Because everything you can acquire in the cash shop, with the exception of like boosts and things like that, can also be gotten in-game. The most important thing actually about that is leveling sigils. Leveling sigils are required to get past certain level points, and you can get them with drops by basically grinding for them, or you can just buy them. Or, of course, if you happen to be subscribed, you don't need them at all. That's 3 ways. There's the free-to-play way, there's the microtransaction way, and there's the premium way, the subscription way. And the subscription way is a traditional style of subscription. It's just like World of Warcraft or any other game. I pay, I think it's, how much am I paying at the minute? I think the 3-month plan is $10 a month. I'm fairly sure I paid $29.97 for 3 months worth of subscription, if I remember correctly. So yeah, $10 a month if you buy 3 months at a time. I think it's about $13, $14 otherwise. So, isn't that an interesting model? There's also another way of getting around it, and that's by having friends. You might wonder, well, what happens if you don't pay? Well, some of the content is actually premium, so a lot of the quests and adventures are premium. The thing is, you can get to level 20 without buying any content. And you can either do that by repeating dungeons, and of course the game does have a system whereby you can do that, because of course it's got 4 difficulty levels. And you can earn the maximum amount of experience by doing a dungeon in the most optimal way. For instance, finding all the breakables, discovering all the hidden areas, disarming all the traps, killing all of the monsters, including all of the hidden ones, doing all the side objectives and things like that. You get bonuses for that, so it's funny. If you're playing for free, you're actually encouraged to do so in the most optimal way possible. But then again, there's another way of doing it, because DDO is often designed to be played with other people, so what you have is a system whereby other people could buy you a guest pass, and it's very, very cheap. I mean, it's using the cash shop currency, which is turbine points, and you can get a guest pass for somebody, and once they go into the dungeon, they've basically got an hour to clear it out. And that works too. And if you've got friends that subscribe to the game, or otherwise just buy turbine points, and they're willing to be generous, they can buy you a guest pass. It won't cost them much, it costs like about 10 or 15 turbine points, which is, isn't it, what, 500 turbine points for $5 or something like that? Remember correctly? I don't know. I actually do not know how much is a turbine point. Let us find out. Oh yes, 400 turbine points is actually $6.50, so that... what does that work out? Yeah, 64 turbine points to the dollar. So you're looking maybe about 20-25 cents if you buy them in that denomination. So it's not a lot. Plus also when you gain favor points, you can gain turbine points that way, and that's earned in-game, so... it's just really interesting, isn't it, to see how many ways there are to approach delivering content to someone, and I think that's actually what makes DDO successful. I think people aren't really aware of this, but I'm fairly sure that DDO actually has about 3 million players. That's what I was hearing, anyway. I'm gonna have to have a look. I'm fairly sure it is. Yeah, Ars Technica actually has an article. Behold the power of free. There we go. I want to see if it actually tells you. Do they have numbers here? I know they said they tripled their profits by doing that. And that's an interesting thing to look at as well, because when you have people that subscribe to another game, it's really hard to get them to also subscribe to your game. It's problematic, isn't it? And the funny thing is, this is an interesting number from 2009 here, from an Ars Technica article. Since they went free to play in 2009, their subscriptions actually increased by 40%. They got 40% more subs, yeah? And that's subscribers. I'm not talking about free-to-play players here. It's really interesting. I'm just very surprised a lot more games aren't going along this model. Yep, 14th of May 2010... DDO is the third most played MMO on the market right now, according to the NPD annual surveys. WoW players make up 30% of MMO players, RuneScape 10%, DDO 7%. Interesting. It also said that WoW players are looking at different games. In 2010, 11% of WoW players actually went and tried DDO. Huh. According to that survey, of course. We don't know how accurate that really is. That's interesting. So, I think the conclusion to make... Oh, yeah, there's another one from Engage Digital. Yeah. February 26, 2010, since it relaunched in September 2009, gained over 1 million new players. Overall DDO revenue has increased 500% since the release of the Eberron Unlimited model. It works. And actually a lot of other games going that way. They made Lotro that way, and Age of Conan is doing that too. I know Age of Conan made a level free at any point, but I just think it's a really good model. And what it comes down to is, look, we accept that you might be on a limited budget right now, and we're willing to make concessions to allow you to experience the content in a number of different ways. We're going to give you the choice as to how that happens. And to me, that seems like a much fairer model. To me, that's doing right by your customers, as opposed to World of Warcraft, which is like, well, you have to pay $15 a month in order to play, and here's all these other services that also cost money. Whereas DDO is like, well, here's these services and items and things that cost money, but all of these are actually available in the game anyway if you want to go and work for them. It's up to you. You could subscribe, or you could not. You could play for free, and you could repeat some of the content to make sure you can level up and grind for the leveling sigils, or you can have friends give you stuff, or you can buy the adventure packs you want to do, and you can just avoid buying the ones that you don't. It's pretty good, isn't it? It's pretty good. I like it. I think it's very sensible. I think that more companies should follow that. And hell, eventually I'd expect Blizzard to. It's going to take them a while, but I think they will. Squeeze the last little bit of milk juice out of that dying cow that we call World of Warcraft. Not that that's going to die for another couple of years yet, but it's getting there. It will eventually go down. It'll go the way of any other MMO. But I feel that it will kill itself. It will not be killed by other games. Right, folks. I've got a few minutes left for shoutouts, so send them in to themurloc@gmail.com. That is themurloc@gmail.com. Alternatively, you can PM me on IRC with your shoutout, or send me a tweet, if you like. Sounds like a good idea. But some people saying, I hate it. I don't want to buy content piecemeal. You don't have to, as I clearly explained. That's the wonderful thing about choice. And if people don't listen, well, that's their own problem, isn't it? Oh my. Okay. A shout-out comes in for the Dark Chaos. Or indeed from Dark Chaos to Dark Chaos's girlfriend. They have a 1-year anniversary today. Congratulations for not killing each other. A shout-out to myself and Jesse Cox for making me buy Terraria instead of paying for my mobile phone service this month. They could wait a few more weeks. Wow, you are irresponsible. That comes from Clankio or Twan. Oh dear. Shout-out for Richter for getting Conclave of the Wind achievement before Blizzard nerfs it into the ground. Yes, indeed. What is this guy? This guy's a freaking idiot. I've got this guy on IRC, WFTTF, who keeps spamming about 40k. Play Dark Crusade, it's better than StarCraft. Get out! It's a terribly balanced game. Idiot. Good lord. Shout out to my friend Alexi, who turns 18 tomorrow. That's from Nils. Shout out to Scourge Bain for giving the only real illusion of choice, indeed. A shout out to Intricacy for being the angry badger that sorted all the DreamHack stuff out. That's from Shami, yes, indeed. A shout out to Machete Squad for finally defeating Neff on normal after 78 attempts. That's some dedication right there. A shout out to TB for getting DDO. That's from Tiro. A shout out to all the haters, keep on tanking. That's from Tony G. A shout out to Immortal on Blade's Edge server for Gnome Rapuns giving up on raiding. That's from Alex Power. And a shout out to the Guild IX I believe that's also 9 in Roman numerals on Twisting Nether Horde EU. That's from Will Game for Gold. A shout out to the bacon in all the world. That's from Vigilant Penguin. And a shout out to all the kids that have summer break. Ugh, that's kind of scary. And a shout out to all the good free MMO games online. Well, all 2 of them. That's from Striker Slash. And a shout out to Shakita for being up all night to tune in for the first time. I'm done. I'm out of here, folks. Thank you very much. Remember to donate to Nordrasil Radio to help them get to DreamHack. They are a volunteer organisation. They very much need it. Head over to nordrasilradio.com, find the donation link, pop it in right there. It's the way to do it, folks. What shall we go out on? I'm sure I can find something right here. What have we got? There are yes. I think more Turasas. I haven't played enough of the new Turasas, you know that? That's got to be sorted out. I think we're going to fix that immediately. Let's go find that. Yes, Stand Up and Fight is the name of this particular album. You know what? I'm going to play the title track. Good night. You have been listening to the podcast and archive of Blue Please, WoW's #1 shock jock show, only on cynicalbrit.com.